Welcome back. I apologize for a little bit late of the video here. We had some things going on at the house, had some steamers come in, so it was really loud in the house. I didn't want you guys to hear all that background noise. But it's time for the Wednesday rankings. Let's get going. What a week we had. I do have to apologize. I wasn't able to watch quite as many games as I usually do, but that's all right. I was able to attend the Chiefs game with our very own Gase Ventura Jet Detective. Had a wonderful time. It was a great Sunday. So definitely not upset at all, but just wanted to warn you guys a little bit. A lot of my stuff I did watch was on highlights. I didn't get to watch as many of the games this week. Well, let's get rolling with number 12, moving down from 11 to 12, Hopkins lymphoma. They picked up the loss this week after picking up a win 2 weeks ago. So 1 of 5 for them. James Conner, got to focus on him a little bit. He was Mr. Everything for the Steelers this week. And then Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde has actually had a pretty good season for the Texans. He is in a discussion for sure for a flex consideration moving forward, maybe even a running back too. He's been really good for the Texans. Kind of a Chiefs afterthought, but looking really good for Houston early on. Number 11, No Luck Ponies, moving up from 12 to 11. Nacy and I had a fantastic matchup this week. Nobody really deserved to lose. He got off to a great start on Thursday. I was able to take the hold of things on Sunday, but I was nervous the whole way. It was a great matchup, mostly because of the New England defense. Once again, how good have they been this year? They're legitimately like a running back 1, running back 2, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 kind of thing. That defense has been incredible for the Patriots, and they are the number 1 scoring defense in fantasy, and it's not super close. Also, Golden Tate, big time start by Nace as he was just back for the Giants. He's looking really good. I picked him up in the league. I'm giving him a start this week. He looked really good for the Giants, so hope he can continue things for New York. That brings us to the Mexi Narcos. They picked up the L, 2-4 on the season for them. As you guys all know, things are still very, very close. The team in 12th is actually only 2 games out of the playoffs. That's how close things are. Once again, you know I love that. You know I love the competitiveness of this league. But Erico is 2-4. Stephon Diggs didn't make the cut for him on the start, which I completely get. He's been pretty bad this year, but it was good to see Diggs doing Diggs things. Don't know if it was a combination of the Eagles' secondary being pretty bad or if Diggs is starting to find his way with Kirk Cousins. And then Tom Brady, once again, Tom Brady doing Tom Brady things. He has been fantastic. 2 rushing touchdowns. That's why I wanted to bring him up. He did vulture those from Sony Michel. But if Brady's going to be their short-term guy, if they're within the 2 or 3, that could be really beneficial for his fantasy value. That brings us to number 9. Scam Squad, number 9. Moving to 3-3. Young Jackson right there, tied for that last playoff spot with a lot of other teams. But Mike Evans, glad to see him back on the radar, as he was bad last week, but he's back doing his thing, even though he does have Jameis Winston as his quarterback. And then speaking of quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater, he's a legitimate starter now. Definitely, I think, in that quarterback 2, if not quarterback 1 consideration for the Saints. He's been doing good things. I'm glad to see after that gruesome injury that he is ready to go for the Saints. Number 8, Jay Money getting his 2nd consecutive win, moving on up the rankings. Good to see him in year number 1, moving from the 9th spot to the 8th spot. George Kittle, I love George Kittle. Jay Money snaked him from me in a draft because I was thinking about keeping him. But Kittle was fantastic. He is definitely a top 3 tight end in football. Him, Ertz, and Kelsey are, head and shoulders above everybody else. There are a couple other people that are coming in that we're going to get to later that have been good, like Mark Andrews, Hunter Henry. But I definitely think that Kittle is in that elite discussion. And that Carolina defense, they had interceptions all over the place, mostly because Jameis Winston sucks and throws a ton of interceptions. But that Carolina defense did big things for Jay Money, led him to the win, and he is now 3-3. The 7 team, moving down from 6, is Gase Ventura Jet Detective, a formerly mentioned the partner for the game this weekend. It was fantastic. He had a tough matchup with SEC Network, but he's right there, has another tough matchup this week. Maybe a precursor of the matchup of the week. But Gase Ventura, Jet Detective, he snagged Hunter Henry in the draft, that draft and stash, and he looked fantastic. Hunter Henry is going to be a force if he stays healthy. You love to see that. You hate injuries in football, so excited to see what Hunter Henry can do. And then Phyllis Rivers, he is always fantasy relevant. Being a Chiefs, a lot of you guys are Chiefs fan. I know you guys do hate Phyllis, but he does put up fantasy numbers, and I know that's what Utah cares about. Excited for him to continue things on. So I have that Charger combination right there as the 2 guys highlighting for Utah. The number 16, moving up from number 8, insert team name here. What a win for Hunter. Picked up a big win against the Mexi Narcos. Has another big win this week. He's told me in personal messages that he knows that he has to be pretty close to winning out to have a chance to make the playoffs after a tough start for him. Really unlucky start. Mark Andrews was fantastic once again for him. Tight end 1, lock him in. The Ravens offense looks really good. And then Kenny Golladay getting over 100 yards. He definitely can put up wide receiver 1 numbers. Definitely a locked in wide receiver 2. So you love to see that for Hunter. Number 5 team, moving down from number 3. Off in the woods. Off in the woods. They were beat this week. Goff, Hawk, and Lockett did beat off in the woods. But it was a good week for Goff, Hawk, and Lockett, but we'll get to him later. Off in the woods, they did drop their number 2 in a row. But Austin Hooper was really good. But I want to talk about Sammy Watkins. You know, as Chiefs fans, we know that he is probably not going to play tomorrow night. I think he actually already has been ruled out. It's tough because a guy with that much talent, you want to see him play, but that's kind of something that's going to have to be something that Jordan's going to have to focus on moving forward. Is Watkins going to play? Because you know the kind of numbers he can put up when he's healthy in that prolific offense. And speaking of Goff, Hawk, and Lockett, they move up from 5 to 4. 5-1 on the season, 5 in a row for Adam. Second year in the league. He told me this is the first year of his trying to get back into things with his rebuild, so excited for him. And he also won with Jared Goff as a starting quarterback who had negative points, so that is impressive. Well done, Adam. And then Tyreek Hill, I know he's excited to have him back. The Chiefs Kingdom is excited to have Tyreek Hill back. He looked good in his limited action. Wasn't on the field a ton, but he's going to be on the field for more and more snaps as weeks wear on for the Chiefs. Moving from number 4 to number 3, SEC Network. Second win in a row, moving to 4-2. Nick Chubb, fantastic week once again for the Browns. Unfortunately, they are on a bye, which sucks. That's why I needed to wear them. But Nick Chubb was great once again with those 2 tutties. Kyler Murray on the bench for Torrey, but a really, really good week from him. The Oklahoma product looking better and better. He's really adjusting to the NFL in a big way. You love to see what he's doing for the Cardinals. Staying at number 2 is can't guard Mike or OBJ. Myself, I was able to pick up another win, my 3rd in a row, 5-1 on the season. Odell Beckham, who was be able to go over 100 yards. That was great to see out of him. You know, he has had a little bit of a tough season. As you guys know, I'm always banging a drum on him. So excited that he was able to get over 100 yards. He gets a week to recuperate, get ready to go, moving forward, because I'm going to need him for the long haul. Got to get together a few more wins to try to lock up a playoff spot. And then I want to talk about him because it's probably the last time I'm going to talk about him all year. Will Dissly. Man, I was so excited about that pickup. Had a little bit of an issue with tight ends this year. Will Dissly was starting to fill that void for me, and he tore his Achilles. I don't know how bad that hurts. I one time strained my Achilles, and it hurt like shit. So I am really sorry, Dissly, that you had to go through that. I can only imagine the pain. Us fancy owners are sending out our best to you, and we are sad that we don't get to have you for this year. But we will be on the lookout in 2020. Excited to have you back in action with Russell Wilson next year. And then number 1 for the second week in a row, Run CMC, 3rd in a row, up to 4-2. His team is looking absolutely nasty over another great week for Brett. Chris Godwin, he is a bona fide superstar for the Bucs, even with Jameis Winston. That shows you how good he is. And then Lamar Jackson. We haven't talked about him in a couple weeks. He's still fantastic, still QB1, doing big things for the Ravens. What a draft pick. So that's it. From 12. That's our top 12. Run CMC at 1. Can't guard Mike or OBJ at 2. SEC Network at 3. Goff, Hawk, and Lockett at 4. Off in the Woods at 5. Insert team name here at 6. Gase Ventura, Jet Detective at 7. J Money at 8. Scam Squad at 9. Mexi Narcos at 10. No Luck Ponies at 11. And Hopkins Lymphoma at 12. Also, I want to focus on our matchup of the week. I gave us a little bit of a precursor of it, but this is a big matchup for both teams. Insert team name here against Gase Ventura, Jet Detective. Hunter's 2-4 on the season. Utah's 3-3. Both of them are fighting for playoff spots. Both, as you all know, have incredible histories of success. So you know that if they make the playoffs, they're going to be a very, very dangerous team, either one of them. So it's a big week for both of them as Utah doesn't want to drop to 3-4. If Hunter drops to 2-5, that's going to be really tough for him to make it back. So big week for them both. I'm excited to see what happens. That's the matchup I'm concentrated on other than my own. So excited to see what happens this week. It's been great with you all. Best of luck this week and enjoy watching the Chiefs tomorrow night. That's it. The commish is signing off.